So we're out here today at the property on foot because it is way too wet for our equipment. We just received heavy rainfall from a system that dropped tornadoes in other parts of Iowa.
This is devastating to look at. We've seen some visuals from our storm trackers. They've got it from their vehicles, but when you look at this, you don't know where one property line starts and the other one finishes. You don't know where these homes used to even exist.
We thankfully didn't have a tornado, but we do need to see the impact of that heavy rainfall on our low water crossing. This is by far the most water we've had flowing through the creek since we built the low water crossing. Let's go take a look. Well, here's what I wanted to see, and to be honest with you, I am mostly encouraged. I'm at our low water crossing, and the big part was the actual low water crossing, the slab stayed. Did exactly what I was hoping it would do. The two 15-inch culverts are moving the water. The problem is there's a lot of surface area that's dumping into this creek, and it was full. You can tell, obviously, I wasn't here when the water was going through, but you can tell by the pushed over vegetation how high up this actually came. So as designed, the low water crossing did exactly that. It did not dam up the water. As soon as it the culverts couldn't handle the amount of volume of water, it flowed over the top and continued down. And then when it's dropping below the height of the slab, now you're able to have that water continue to go through the culverts and it's passable. However, the volume of water that went through here did some damage. So it actually, the sides of the slab where I had placed some pretty good sized gravel and some larger sized concrete blocks, the volume of that water pushed all that out. So I have gaps on both sides of the slab right now. So I cannot currently drive either the Kubota UTV or the Coyote tractor over this. So I'm going to have to come up with a different plan. I think I'm going to take some of the existing concrete, broken up concrete that I have at the house, bring it out. I was meaning to do that anyway, but I realized when you have this volume of water coming through, which is going to happen again, I got to have something that's going to keep that volume, that rushing water from blasting it out the other side. There's no guarantee that that'll work, but it's going to do a much better job than what I had with the smaller gravel. Again, it wasn't the smallest size gravel, and I also had some issues with some erosion towards the bottom of where the hill was meeting the actual slab. So I'm just learning from this. We had such dry weather the last couple of years that I never really got to see what would happen with some of the physics of the water coming down. But we're going to make some adjustments, but a good learning experience. Thank goodness it wasn't too much for the actual slab, the low water crossing to handle. We're just going to have to learn from it and prepare us for the next big rainstorm that comes through. Again, because of all of the area, very hilly around here, it's dumping all that land surface is coming into this creek, and it's a tributary of a larger creek, which dumps into a large lake, a reservoir. So hopefully you're seeing some pictures right now or some video of where this water is ending up miles and miles and miles from here. It's pretty amazing what water can do. But anyway, we'll have to do some work here before we get the equipment back out, and we'll take a look at what we do for that. But yeah, this is crazy. But very pleased that this actually survived. So that's the good news. All right, today's the day. We are going to get the low water crossing crossable again. As you have been watching, we've been prepping for it. Actually, I've already gotten most of the concrete that I transferred from the house over here already put in place. We used it at the front end or upstream side of the low water crossing as riprap. The stuff that was there before did fine, but we're going to try to protect the side there that got totally washed out from the last couple storms. So we've already done that already, but today is the day where I'm going to finally utilize one of my mistakes, and that is the pallet or pallets of bricked concrete bags, 60-pound bags. I thought I was so smart, so wise. I had shrink wrap, I had multiple tarps on it. I was going to make sure that the transported concrete bags on a couple of pallets that I brought out in the late summer of 2022 we're going to make it 2023. Yeah, they did not even close. So anyway, I've been looking at these pallets full of bricked concrete bags. I knew I'd have some use for them. I still have other uses, but I'm going to use it to fill in some of the gaps. And we're going to utilize the forks on the tractor, and we're going to move the pallets. So let's get after this, and let's see how it turns out. I've got to get across this thing today or tomorrow. We've got some work to do over in the food plots. We got to get ready for the buckwheat. But anyway, let's get this taken care of. All right, so we successfully filled in the gaps on the east and west side of the low water crossing, and functionally, we are good to go. You can actually see that the Kubota UTV made it across the other side, so we can do what we need to do. And that's great. That's what we were really hoping to do. However, it is a beautiful day, a little warm, but the creek is flowing nicely. Everything's good, although there's more weight on each side of the low water crossing because we used those concrete bags that had bricked together, and we had gotten everything pretty much solidified by using some river rock and some rock that had pushed out when the water had come through before. To me, that's not good enough. I don't want to do this again because it is going to happen again. We're going to have another torrential rainstorm. The water's going to flow. It's going to be much higher than the low water crossing, and we need to be ready for that. So I decided to take an extra step today. We got some bags of concrete, and we're going to fill in some of these gaps. All right, so the whole idea behind it is if you've ever seen tile installed, like ceramic tile, slate, whatever, you have the adhesive or the mastic that they are using to secure the tile to the ground, and then you use mortar, which is going in between all the joints. And that's kind of the idea we're going to do today. We're going to be mixing some concrete very, very thin, and we're going to kind of fill in some of these gaps. And if we have enough, we're going to maybe make like a thin coating over the whole entire top to make it consistent as much as we can. Likelihood it's going to crack when the tractor goes over the top of it, but I really don't care. It's more about solidifying it together so that when the water does come, it doesn't dig down. So you can see that our low water crossing had no issues. It's also almost 2 feet thick. So we're not going to do that. We hopefully never have to do that. If this does not work, if we have a really bad storm where we have a lot of volume and this does not work, we're going to have to do what I don't really want to do, but I know would be the ultimate cure. And that would be to extend the slab up the hill. Not as deep. We don't need it 2 feet thick, but make it up the hill a little bit. Hopefully this is going to work. So let's get started here, and we'll get this done today. Let this dry because we have some work to do across the creek with some of our food plot stuff. So we'll let this get solidified, and we'll hopefully have something that's usable for the rest of the season. Let's get to this, and I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you're learning something. I'm not an engineer. We're just trying to solve problems here. So hopefully you're learning something. If you have any ideas of what I could do differently or could do, or someone else could do differently, put it down in the comments. Love to see your ideas. I'm sure there's some engineers out there that are looking at me like, what are you doing, Brad? This is nuts. But it's making my property accessible, and if it could be helpful for your property, awesome. That's all we're hoping to do. So if you enjoy this, enjoy the content that you're watching, please subscribe, put notifications on, and tell somebody. We're just having a great time out here working the property, whether we're doing it for whitetails or the other stories that we're telling. We'd love to have you join us. All right, we got to get to work. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Thank you for checking this project out. I hope you enjoyed the process. And if you want to leave some comments below, what you enjoyed or some things you'd like to see differently, or maybe ideas you'd have that I didn't think about, I'd love to see what you have in those comments. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So, yep, we did this to do our other jobs, so it's time to do it. Off we go. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.